The Devil Wears Prada 2 is everything that is wrong with Hollywood and modern movies, all wrapped up in the guise of a fun little rom-com, and we're going to talk about it. So pop that tape in. I got you. Let's go do this. Do you ever sit and watch a movie and think, why did they have to ruin a perfectly good story? Not because it's an incompetent movie necessarily, but because it feels like it was something that was written by people who learned absolutely nothing from the last 10 years of audience feedback, particularly the last year or so of feedback. That's exactly how it felt watching The Devil Wears Prada 2. On the surface, it looks like a glossy, harmless, fashion-filled sequel to a movie that was a huge success and fun 20 years ago. But if you dig a little deeper, you realize it's the perfect time capsule for everything that has been dragging down mainstream Hollywood for the better part of the last 10 to 15 years. What's going on, everybody? I'm Chase with AVA Pop Culture, and you know I don't do a ton of new movie reviews here. I'm going to start wading into it a little bit on the ones that I actually do want to go see or that I have to go see in this case. So let's start with the first movie, if you haven't seen The Devil Wears Prada, because that movie actually had something to say. The Devil Wears Prada from 2006 was a sharp, funny satire dressed up in fabulous clothes. I mean, that's what it was. Anne Hathaway's Andy gets tempted literally by the devil herself, right? Meryl Streep's Miranda Priestly is the devil. She's the devil who wears Prada. She is tempting Anne Hathaway away from healthy relationships and all those kinds of things with wealth, power, status, and a killer wardrobe to boot. And the whole point was that if she sold her soul and betrayed her friends, abandoned her boyfriend, and gave up everything that actually mattered, well, then she could technically have it all from the devil's perspective. And at the end, she makes the right choice. She walks away. She chooses balance, love, and her own values, her own soul over the devil's offer. It was clear, it was satisfying, it was uplifting, fun, a moral lesson that resonated with millions of people over the last 2 decades. Now, 20 years later, The Devil Wears Prada 2 takes a hard-earned lesson and then sets it on fire. Without spoiling too much, Andy has basically gone right back to chasing exactly what the devil was offering the first time. She sacrificed relationships, friendships, and motherhood all on the altar of ambition and status. And the movie never really challenges it. In fact, it actually rewards that behavior. Even when Miranda points out how empty that path has left her, failed marriages, failed friendships, distant from her own children. She wasn't there for her children, but she says, it was all worth it. She literally tells her, it's all worth it. Destroying all that, it's all worth it for the money, the power, the prestige, the wealth. The film still frames the relentless pursuit of power and earthly success at the cost of all these things that matter as the ultimate prize. The difference is this time, it's not just a bad sequel, it's a complete inversion of the original message, because now Andy has thrown away all those things that she realized mattered, and she's still chasing the devil's offer. That's the part that really frustrates me, because the movie feels dated in that regard. It reeks of mid-2010s Hollywood mindset that audiences apparently are supposed to find deep and meaningful and aspire to. The morally gray protagonist, ambition at all costs, sacrifice of family and love and motherhood or fatherhood, to chase ambition at all costs. And the refusal to let the characters actually grow and choose something better over the message they are pushing to modern audiences is just insulting to the original movie. Audiences have shown again and again through massive hits like Project Hail Mary, Mario, the Mario movie, and now Michael, that they're hungry for uplifting stories, old school Hollywood, real heroes, characters who aspire to something good, a moral to the story that they even used to have in old horror movies. There were morality tales. They're looking for characters who are selfless, who make sacrifices for others, who choose hope, love, and selflessness over cynical self-interest, money, power, and things that are fleeting and don't matter. Yet here we are in 2026, and Hollywood is still serving up this stale, outdated slop like it is a relic from 2017 or 2018, and it feels almost impressive at how tone deaf it is. It is dated. It really is. And in contrast to the big movies that have come out, it just makes it all the more obvious that this was put into play as a concept before they realized the tide was turning. And so now it feels like a relic of another era, much like The Bride, or one battle after another. And even on a basic filmmaking level, the movie looks flat and uninspired. The first film had great visuals. Filmmaking has regressed so badly. The original one was vibrant, stylish, full of color. And this one, just like almost everything else you see, is desaturated, evenly lit, and has that same gray Netflix commodity look that the big studios are going after so that they can, add stuff digitally, change stuff digitally, and make everything look the same, feels the same, smells the same. All over again, everything is the same. The fashion doesn't pop. The energy is gone. It just feels like more of a, hey ladies, forget your family. Forget ever being, a mom. Forget ever saying that, hey, I can be a professional woman and still have a family. Forget all that stuff and just chase ambition at all costs. Guys, you do the same thing because it doesn't matter. The women are going to do it. It's just so cynical. It is gross. Whereas audiences have said again and again with their pocketbooks that they want stories that actually have something to say and say it with all their heart. And unfortunately, The Devil Wears Prada 2 doesn't do any of that. It even makes a commentary on how addicted we are to our phones and how, everybody is just constantly on their phones and internet. It actually doesn't make a commentary. It just shows it. But it's too afraid to take a stance and say that's bad for fear of real life cancellation of the filmmakers. And people are just tired of all that. They want something with heart. They want something with a good, uplifting story, the same way Project Hail Mary is, the same way the original Devil Wears Prada had. They want that same feeling when she tosses her phone into the fountain and says, hey, you know what? That's not what life is about. I'm not selling my soul for that. But unfortunately, the sequel, it pumps a completely different story that misses the mark completely. So let me know, what did you think of Devil Wears Prada 2? If you've seen it, did the sequel betray the original? It basically assassinates the character. We have so much of that now with filmmakers. They want to deconstruct. It's happening for the last 15 or 20 years, really the last 15. They want to deconstruct your heroes, rip them apart, break them down, show their faults, and then have them chase worldly whatever and say, see, look, they weren't really that good. They want to take away anything that gives you hope. Abandon all hope, ye who enter here. That is the message. And in this one, literally, the devil is selling it to you in fashionable high heels. And that's what I got for you this time. I don't do a ton of new reviews, but you will see a little more from me as I head back to the theaters. A little more here and there, myself and my family, because of movies like Project Hail Mary and Mario and Michael that have given us hope that change is coming. But The Devil Wears Prada 2 ain't it, Chief. And I will see you next time. Like and subscribe and hang around if you enjoyed this. We're almost at 50,000 on the channel, and I really do appreciate it. But until next time, be kind, rewind like always. This is Chase with AV Pop Culture, and I'll see you real soon. Bye-bye. I know.